Hello everybody, my name is Classic Gamer. Today we're going to be going over every single daimyo ideas in Japan. We're not going to be covering Ryukyu or Ainu, okay? And we're going to start from Seoul and then work our way up. And then I will probably talk about, like, whatchamacallit? What am I going to say? You know, which daimyo has absolutely the worst and which one has the best. I'm only going to go over one in my personal opinion, and again, this is all my opinion. Let's also get started. So I put this idea variation. Let's get it done, get it over with. And then, as what makes Japan unique is that you can go with basically 3 other religions besides Shinto. Okay, you can either go Confucian, of which, if you didn't know, okay, if you convert to Confucian, okay, it'll automatically, if you convert to Confucianism, it automatically harmonizes Shinto. I should also, like, declare that these, of course you can convert to Tengri, but what I mean by you can choose the 3 other religions is basically through these incidents. Okay, of course you can convert to Tengri Japan if you do convert with no missionary strength, let the guy rebel, and then let it take provinces. Of course, but the 3 I'm talking about, Confucian, Buddhism, specifically talk about Theravada, and Christianity, well, through events can convert. Okay? Just wanted to get that clear. Let's start with Soul, which is probably the hardest Japanese daimyo in the game. Okay, you start with... Also, I should also say before I start, that, in my opinion, the first 3 ideas, I'm talking about like these stuff, are gonna probably be the most critical ideas that are gonna help you form Japan. Okay, again, it might be earlier for you, it might be later for you, it depends, but usually I have this one filled out before I conquer all Japan. That's just my play style, but let's go over it. So, Soul starts with 10% trade efficiency and trade steering 20%. Okay, as for trade steering, I think this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible starting idea. Okay, because you don't really need to trade steer at Seoul, because you're gonna put them merchant in Nippon, and then probably collect in Beijing. And then Nippon is not that valuable because it's only 7.4 ducats in the beginning of the game, and actually Korea has 18% trade power in it. And even though Ming doesn't even have a single province in Nippon, it still has 7%. Think about that. Okay, just think about that. Okay, and in my opinion, the trade efficiency, you won't really make any money in the Nippon trade node in the beginning of the game. Thus, this trade efficiency is really not that good, and you're not going to really be steering trade, right? Again, if you go for, if you actually go for the Japanese mission tree and actually colonize California, right, yeah, then trade steering makes sense. But the thing about trade steering, it's a very, very situational idea. And it's definitely not a good starting one, especially for Seoul. Wakan, 25 domestic trade power. Basically what that means, each province you own within a trade node generates trade power. Thus, each province you do own in the Nippon trade node will give you more trade power, which is a good thing because everybody needs money. It doesn't matter which country you play at, and this benefits you from having more provinces. Okay, this is really cool because that means you're going to be making money even though you don't have ships. Relatively speaking, this is alright. Okay. Woku tradition, galley combat ability 10%, and yearly naval tradition decay. Basically, all of Japan except for these 2 are all inland seas, and even like this too, inland sea, inland sea, inland sea, right? So you can really have some really good galleys that could actually kick some booty, and that yearly naval tradition decay is very good because naval tradition is great because it not only increases your morale navy, it increases trade steering, privateer efficiency. Okay, it's having a high naval tradition is actually kind of a big deal. Privateer efficiency is 20%. You're gonna want to privateer, you know, pirate in the Malacca node, because the Malacca node is actually worth more than the Beijing node from literally the start of the game, and you're not gonna really have a merchant over here to collect trade, so this allows you to get some money. Okay, diplomatic rep +1. Again, in my opinion, diplomatic relations is not as strong in Asia than in Europe, because you can't personal union in Asia. Okay, you can personal union as a European. Thus, more relation slots are better. But reputation is really good because this can make and break. Okay, this can make it or break you having the chance, to get that crucial line. And from the beginning of the game, you have 4 slots, just like basically everybody else in the game. Why not use all the slots you can by having alliances to keep you alive? Okay? Naval force limit 25% and sailor maintenance. Sailor maintenance doesn't really matter, in my opinion. Maybe if you're still in OPM, maybe that kind of makes sense, but, sailor maintenance is really not that big of a deal. But that naval force limit plus 25% is actually kind of good, because basically as Seoul, you can basically have a kick-ass navy. You can have a really great navy that is and the naval composition is very complex and diverse, right? You might have some galleys, maybe some heavy because of the mission in the Japanese mission tree, and some light ship because of trade. You can have a very powerful but influential navy. Okay? Technology cost -5%, that's always good. Tech cost -5% is great. And then yearly naval tradition +1. Not only you have yearly naval tradition decay, okay, but you're able to generate it in the first place, which is great. Okay, which is awesome. Of course, Seoul ideas are very heavy naval focused, and that's okay, because the new patch made naval combat actually more interesting and more complex and actually valuable. So Seoul ideas are definitely not trash. They're not trash, okay? Because having a navy as a Japanese daimyo is kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal when you're trying to cross here. It's kind of a big deal when trying to upset the balance of power. Okay? It's kind of a big deal. Okay, to having a good and diverse navy. Okay, so Seoul ideas are not going to be the best, but they're not bad ideas. Very naval focused. And that makes sense because you are literally an island called Tsushima. Okay, let's go to Shimazu. I want to make sure I'm recording. Okay, I'm recording. Cool. Shimazu ideas. Starting from the beginning of the game, you're looking at 10% infantry combat ability and negative yearly army tradition decay. Very infantry, military bonuses. 10% morale of armies is good. 15% manpower recovery speed. Production efficiency 10%. 5% discipline land fire damage. Trade steering 20% and -5% tech cost and national attack. Let's talk about the economy first. Basically, you're gonna be producing the amount of production. You're basically able to produce more tea. Okay, if we just talk about Satsuma. But basically your tax and your production income are gonna be pretty decent. are gonna be high, right? Okay. And then trade steering is good because this comes later, which means you'll probably be in California by that time, which makes sense to have that trade steering. Again, that tech cost -5% is good to great. But most importantly, as Shimazu, you have really awesome, like, your first three are great. Okay, your first ideas are great. Look, you do more damage as infantry, which is the cheapest unit in the game. Okay, and then you're gonna have better, whatchamacallit? Better army tradition. Better army tradition's good because it gives you these modifiers. You know, Sasuma Hayato, 10% morale of army, then 6-day ship code, now you have 20% morale of army. Then your manpower recovers 15% faster, which is great. Like, Shimazu, and then look, you're getting land fire damage and discipline, and infantry have fire damage. It has a lot of fire damage. So Shimazu is a scary military power, man. It's scary. It's scary military power. Very, very military, army or infantry based. And that's good. Alright, Ito. Start with 40% spy network construction speed and 25 garrison growth. Basically, that garrison growth makes it harder for people to take your fort. Yay. You know, as Japan, if you lose a battle, you're fucked. Okay. In my opinion. So this is not very good. But that spy network construction speed is kind of decent because it allows you to fabricate claims, faster. So you can take land more cheaper. Right, really prestige is always nice. I always say that. Units without upkeep, this is good because this allows you to get a third slot. So basically, you're gonna have a general, an admiral, and then maybe an explorer. Very cool. Aggressive impact -10%. Basically, you're able to take more land without pissing more people off. Provinces are easier to take with core creation cost. The core creation cost and the spy network construction speed, and with you able to fabricate more claims faster, allows you to save more admin points. Not bad. Fort defense, I don't give a fuck about fort defense in Japan, in my opinion, because you're going to be doing the attacking of other nations. You're not going to really be on the defense. Tolerance of heathen +2. Basically, that's this is good. Tolerance of heathen +2 is great. Basically, yeah. Tolerance of heathen +2 is good because basically you're able to attack this area and this area more easily. This is cool. That's very strong. The tolerance of heathen will be strong if you switch to Confucianism, which Confucianism gives you +2 tolerance of heretic. So basically you're getting +2 tolerance of heathen and heretic with this idea. Crazy, that's cool. They get 10% construction cost. Building stuff is not bad. Help you to save money, maybe possibly get manufacturers. Construction cost is decent. And then good produce modifier 10%. Again, Ito ideas are, in my opinion, very good. I think Ito ideas are actually very good. Because it makes you able to take more land cheaper, right? And that's what Japan's all about, is taking people's land. Being aggressive. Of course, you're not going to have that, great army bonuses. But guess what? You are getting cheaper land. So, Ito is pretty cool. Alright, let's go to Kikuchi. So, beginning of the game, you get regiment cost -10% and unjustified demand -25%. Basically, in Kikuchi case, You're just gonna take fucking land that you didn't even freaking take in the first, that you didn't even fabricate in the first place, which that's also kind of what Japan's all about. You're ending with diplomatic relations +1. Again, it's not bad. It's just I would prefer reputation. -1 national unrest. That's good because basically if you pop in the Shinto tolerance, which is 5, so you basically get -6 national unrest all across Japan, which allows you to, you know, keep land more easily. That's cool. Prestige is always nice. Always nice. Same with legitimacy. Basically, you're gonna have these two counters are gonna be generally higher than normal. Morale of army plus 10%, not bad. Constant heritage and heathen, which is good because this balances out. Monthly autonomy change, so basically you can just, you know, centralize autonomy more easily. You know, and get less national unrest. Port defense, again, in my opinion, not very that good. In my opinion, not very that good. I don't think Japan should really be building ports, especially this late. And then relation +1, I guess that's alright. Kikuchi ideas, they're you know, the startings are not very good, in my opinion. They're not very good. I believe out of these 3 boys, Shimazu, I would actually go with Shimazu ideas, in my opinion. I think Shimazu had the best ideas out of these 3. Goes by Shimazu, Ito, and then Kikuchi. Basically, Kikuchi is very administrative based, like keeping the land in control. Basically, that's basically what they're all about. Alright, let's go to Otomo. Alright. Otomo, in the beginning of the game, starts with money. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with just starting with money. Okay? Then you get national manpower modifier, that's good. More goods produced, discipline, domestic trade power, missionaries, and if you go Catholic, which you should as Ultimo, you get yearly papal influence, institution spread, siege ability 10%, and artillery combat ability. In my opinion, I think Ultimo has the better ideas out of all these. And if you're gonna play as a Catholic Japan, you better be playing as Ultimo, and you better, when you form Japan, you better be keeping Ultimo ideas. Okay? So these ideas are, in my opinion, really good, because not only you get a crap ton of money, okay, but it goes hand in hand. Not only you produce 10% more goods, but you're 10% at making more money from that goods produced, okay? Very nice, okay? And then, again, domestic trade power, within a node. Very cool. More manpower, you can never go wrong with manpower. 5% discipline, you guys don't even need to talk about that. Missionaries, allows you to convert Japan to Catholicism more easily. Institution spread, very good because Japan is going to have a harder time getting all these institutions unless you develop, and when you develop, institution spread will be better. Okay, siege ability, 10% great, and then you get, not only you get siege ability, which siege ability is increased by using artillery, but you also get artillery combat ability. Ultima ideas are really good. I would probably say the top 2. Okay, let's go to Shoni. Let's just talk about Ultimo. Ultimo is very, very balanced. Very balanced in a good way. Very good, little bit good combat bonuses. These first 3 ideas, in my opinion, even though they're not military based, heavy military based, they're gonna give you a lot of money. AKA, you're able to go over your force limit more easily and just take more shit. That's really what it's about. Let's talk about Shoni. Shoni started with 10% trade efficiency. Trade efficiency is bad, in my opinion, in the beginning of the game. Land force limit plus 20%, and domestic trade power plus 10%. That land force limit is actually really good as Shoni, because you start with a bigger army, not including Archie, than any of these guys. Shoni, that's very good. Okay. Diplomatic rep, Very nice. Allows you to get these alliances early on, and then 10% morale of army. You get a diplomat and then a merchant. In my opinion, this diplomat is that 1+1 diplomat is actually kind of good. Because you're not gonna really be going down dynastic ideas because you can't really do stuff with it as much as you can in Europe, right? So basically, you could use that diplomat for you to justify more claims better without even taking espionage. So that extra diplomat is kind of chill, and then extra merchant is even better because you can collect trade here, transfer trade to here, collect trade here. So that's what's good about this merchant. Land leader shock. You're gonna have advantages over horses, which is nice because you're able to have a better force limit to back up the land leader shocks. Really army tradition. You're more likely to get better land leader shocks. You get 5% to the cost, which is always good, and domestic trade power plus 10%. Okay, in my opinion, Shoni ideas are actually good. They're not, super sexy and amazing. Okay, but they're really all around. They're all around, just like, okay, I have some influence here, I have some influence here, right? It's, Shoni idea is very flexible, and that's great. Alright, let's go talk about... We're gonna be talking about these guys first. These guys. Hosokawa. Tag. Reach. That's good. Hosokawa. 10% infantry combat ability and galley combat ability. 20 plus 20%. Hosokawa, this is cool because guess what? Not only in the beginning of the game you start with good military, but also naval combat ability. That's good. This is great. This is great. Especially because your land, you have galleys, which you have 3 in the beginning. Allows you to keep the flow of moving your units around more easily. This is good. This is really good. Yearly legitimacy +1. Again, unrest -1. Trade power abroad. Okay, that's interesting. Land force limit 20%. And you get more manpower. This is good. Despite of construction speed, development cost, this is good, and the institution spread. Oh, Hosokawa ideas are very nice. Again, very all around. Okay, basically your first 3 ideas, I'll talk about these, are very administrative based, and then the rest is just, manpower, diplomatic, and so Hosokawa's ideas are put in the right. They're not super strong. Okay, they're not like super sexy and amazing, but their placement is very good. Their placement is amazing. Okay, but you can still work with that different placement. Hosokawa is very balanced. Very balanced. Alright, now let's talk about Ouchi. Ouchi starts with -1 unrest and ship cost -10%. Again, ship cost is not bad, but it ain't good either from the beginning of the game. Okay? The ship cost is more of a long-term kind of thing. And then the long-term is good, but in the beginning of the game, not great. That national unrest, that's decent, right? Decent, but that diplomatic rep allows you to get alliances more better. Domestic trade power plus 20%. We already talked about that. Morale of Navy plus 15%. That's good because you do need control in this area. More merchants. You might want to be lightship power. Okay. Again, trade steering is put at a good distance, and tolerances, heretics, and heathens is nice with some advisor cost and trade efficiency. Ouchi ideas are very, very heavily trade based. Very heavily trade based. And That's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just Ouchie is very trade based, heavily trade based, very heavily in trade and administration. Okay, in terms of religion and fort. That is what Ouchie is known for. I skipped over Kono. My bad. Let's go to Kono. Kono starts with domestic trade power 10% and really naval tradition. Oh my gosh. Kono is ass. Now what makes Kono bad is that you literally have Hosokawa that can just sink your entire navy in one go. Oh man. Jeez. Domestic trade power. Woo! This is horrible. This is horrible. Yay, you get naval force limit. Yay. And then you get... Oh man. I mean... Assuming that you survive as Kono, then you get really crazy naval bonuses. Basically Kono ideas are basically Seoul ideas. Basically. But worse. In my opinion. I think Kono ideas is worse than Seoul. But Seoul is probably easier because at least you're on the Japanese mainland. That's okay, I'm not even gonna talk about this guy. Let's talk about Amango. Talk about Amango. Yearly inflation reduction and land maintenance modifier. This is now some people would say this is shitty, but it's actually kind of fucking smart. Okay? Basically what you have to do is basically you're gonna go over your extension limit, your land force limit so much, and that you'll be taking out a lot of loans that you can kill Yamano. That's basically the strat. And then land maintenance modifier -5% will allow you to take out less loans. And then you get more army tradition, then you get infantry, right? And then that's when you start rolling. At Amago, you start steamrolling a lot. This fort defense is useless. Morale of armies is good. Eventual trade power. And then talents of true faith plus 2, which is 2 on rep. In Shinto, not bad. Goods produced, modifier. So Amago ideas are not... They're not terrible. But if you definitely should not be keeping these ideas if you're able to form Japan. We're talking about Yamana. Yamana ideas is national manpower and diplomatic rep +1. This is great because you're strong enough to get better alliances, such as with Uesugi. If you get that alliance with Uesugi, you're strong. We talk about that diplomat, the core creation power. This is really great. More relations, land leader shock, better prestige. Fort defense is absolutely useless. And then -1 national unrest will, will help. Again, Yamana is good to help you form Japan. Definitely you should not be keeping Yamana ideas. Unless you really like this core creation cost. But the reason why I wouldn't keep Yamana ideas is because of fort defense. You don't need fort defense. You don't really need this fort defense. But Yamana ideas are definitely really good ideas to help you form Japan faster. And you already are in that because you're pretty sizable. But that's good. Okay, let's talk about Ishiki. Start with garrison side 25%, which means your forts are going to be harder to take. Who really cares? Diplomatic relations +1. I guess that's good, and that's better to start with it than get this later. Domestic trade power, national unrest, and rep. Basically, as Ishiki, you're just going to have alliances that are going to keep you alive, practically. And then you're going to start fabricating plans and kick the fuck out of everybody. In my opinion, Ishiki ideas are not worth taking, or worth keeping. But you gotta think about it in the way, like, how is this gonna help me form Japan? Right? Ishiki is hard because basically your alliances are going to keep you alive. And the rest, these are not going to help you keep, take land. They're going to help you keep land, but if you can't take land, how you gonna, why do you expect to keep it? Okay, let's go to Takeyama. So Takeyama starts with very, very, separate provinces. 10% morale of army and manpower is great, especially because Takeyama actually starts with a level 3 fort. So that's kind of a big deal. Okay, prestige is nice. 9-year shot, taunts of true faith. Who gives a crap about taunts of true faith in any religion that you choose? This is, in my opinion, very horrible idea. And by the cost 10%. Basically, Hatakeyama is very administrative in court, prestige and legitimacy, and that's pretty much it. It's really like it's very administrative with, with land fire damage and shock. So you can have these are very administrative things. Okay, let's actually talk about Shiba. Shiba starts with negative 10% construction costs, absolutely horrible, in my opinion. This is terrible starting with tradition. But national manpower is good. Prestige from land battle, this is actually kind of good, because you're going to be attacking a lot of people, so getting a prestige is nice. 10% goods produced, and then diplomats, morale of armies, cavalry cost. I mean, again, you're basically looking at, I think Shiba ideas are decent, but you're gonna have a harder time forming Japan as Shiba because, ooh, I have 10%. Ooh, I'm able to construct things faster, yay! And I only have 20% more manpower, yay! This is not gonna be good to help you form Japan. Now, are these good ideas to keep? Yeah, I would say so. These are good ideas to keep, after forming Japan, but definitely it ain't gonna be as easy as the other ones, in my opinion. Okay, let's talk to Tsusui and TTI. 10% morale of armies and port defense. Again, I hate port defense as Japan because once you form Japan, why would you have force, in my opinion? Okay. Infantry, combat ability, 10%, and war exhaustion. These will help you form Japan. These are very good. Okay. And then yearly prestige +1 is always nice. I do like how they give you attrition for enemies. That's pretty cool. But, yeah. That's alright. Legitimacy, aggressive expansion, idea cost. Just the idea, I just do not like fort. I hate, if you have fort ideas, you're automatically not my favorite. But like, just the ideas are not really good though. I wouldn't keep them. I mean, they're gonna help you form Japan. I guess. Sasuke is a very defensive, like, let me take land and then I'll kill you later kind of guy. That's kind of how I play. But, I think that fort defense starting is decent. It's because you start on a hill. So maybe that's alright. I guess they're good at... Tsusui is good to help inform Japan, but it's definitely not... You should not be keeping these ideas. Especially because of these fort defenses and the attrition for enemies. If your enemy lands in Japan because your navy has failed, then you're a terrible Japan player. Okay, let's talk about Kita Batake. Okay, at first we're looking at very anti-unrest. -1 national unrest, and years of separatism -5. Very anti-unrest. You're looking at national attack modifier, tolerance of truth-based. Horrible if you stick with Shinto, you know, for the entire game. Makes sense if you go for Confucian. May to a certain extent Buddhist. Because especially because, you know, I get the benefit is as playing a Kitabatake that in Issei you own Issei from the beginning of the game, which gives you Jingyu, which gives you 0.50 legitimacy and tolerance for true place plus 1. Right, so this is really good because you're gonna get as Kitabatake in if you stay Shinto until you form Japan, you're looking at -1, -3. No, you're basically looking at -6, -7 national unrest, and your less years of separatism. That's really good, I gotta say. Kitabatake is able to keep the territories more easily. But if you're playing a Kitabatake, you should be going Confucian and taking landings in Confucian provinces to make this tolerance to true faith actually worth it. Again, diplomatic rep, great. Galley compatibility, also good. Help you kill their navy. Cost of advisors with ruler's culture, decent. Just because you're gonna get a lot of Togoku because you are Togoku, right? No, you're Saigoku. Okay, basically you're gonna get advisor cost -20%. Very cool. More spider with construction speed. Be able to fabricate claims faster. Great. Movement speed 15%. Nice. 10% morale of army. Kitabatake ideas are actually kind of good, even though they're not. You know, all the military stuff comes later. You know, Kitabatake is able to keep its land very easily. And that's great! That saves you money and time and manpower. Cool. Let's talk about Ashikaga. I can say Kitabatake ideas are cool. They're different. That's what's cool about it. Chance of new air plus 50%. Depends how you use your air. It's gonna be good. Monthly war exhaustion -0.02. Decent, I guess. Prestige from line battles, that's good. Legitimacy prestige, which is great for you. Convention trade power advisor cost -15%. This is very good. This is probably better than Kitabatake actually. 15 actual attack and 8 come from vassals. So basically, as Ashikaga, you're basically the most European out of all of them by giving you a lot of advantages for you to keep your vassals. Like, this is very cool. Very cool. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Basically, your ideas are gonna help you maintain legitimacy over all of your subjects. Basically. And that +1 legitimacy that you get for your second idea allows you to get these clicks much better. So that's good. So again, Ashikaga's ideas are these are actually kind of worth keeping, even after Japan. You're basically playing as the Austria of Asia. That's cool. Alright, let's talk about Toki. Toki. 20% land force limit and national garrison growth. Basically makes it harder for you to take forts. 15% movement speed. This is actually kind of good in the beginning of the game. And then prestige is nice. More manpower, fort defense, and garrison side. Wow, you can really have... See, there's nothing wrong with having forts in Japan. But if you're able to have bonuses like these, like You take Korea, you make good-ass forts against Ming, let them waste their manpower. Like, damn! That's good. National tax, idea costs, goods produced, and regiment costs. Tokyo ideas are very defensive and very logistics based, I should say, which is cool. I think Tokyo ideas are pretty decent, in my opinion. It's a very different strategy. You're basically gonna, you form Japan, you take Korea, you go to war with Ming, Ming goes through Korea, okay, and you just build up, fortify Korea like fucking crazy, and then let Ming waste his manpower here, and then you just kill him with the movement speed, okay, and then you're basically gonna be like the Vietnamese and move around and try to take out little stacks of like 5K. Very nice. I gotta say, that's kind of cool. Tokyo ideas. Everybody's favorite, Oda. Everybody's favorite, Oda. Morale of armies of 10%. I mean, look at this. Look at this. You're looking at 20% morale of armies and 10% infantry combat. Shinto is giving 20% morale of armies. Good produce modifier. It's cheaper to take land, cheaper to core them. Land leader shock, leader siege, fire damage. I mean, all parts. Your generals are gonna be fucking awesome. Every unit is looking at very powerful, like combat modifiers, and you get negative 5% tech cost. Oda idea is probably arguably the best Japanese ideas. I knew that I was gonna say it. Oda is so good. It's so good to the extent where you might just keep this. Oda ideas are so good military-wise. You're just gonna kill everyone as Oda. It's ridiculous. And you get manpower. Oh my god. Literally all forms of your army. All forms of your army. To your generals, to your general units. Are gonna be powerful. Oda is cool. Oda is very nice. Tokugawa. Infantry combat ability and aggressive expansion impact negative 10%. Great. Army 20%. So basically, Tokugawa, you're gonna fabricate shit and take more land maybe than you should have. Very neutral, disciplined. Stability cost modifier is great when you're trying to form Japan. Monthly autonomy change. Tolerance of true faith and national unrest. Tokugawa idea is very good in the, I'm gonna fabricate claims on you guys. I'm going to, my nation will be stable. Tokugawa's ideas are actually really good. Cool. Imagawa. 5% discipline, land force limit. You're looking at really good combat ability. We're looking at really good stuff. Cost to fabricate claims. That's great. Improved relation, trade efficiency, idea cost. Wow. Unrest, relation. Wow. In my opinion, I think Imagawa had the best national ideas. In my opinion, over Oda. They're better. I think this is the best idea. You're all around, like, keep my nation stable, but taking fucking shit, fabricate on shit, improve relations with people. Imagawa ideas are great. Ogasawara. OGS. Alright. Artillery for enemies +1. Again, this is good. And then basically similar to Toki idea is and you're on hills too. You're gonna be defensive, but basically you're gonna let people try to take your capital fort and waste their manpower and then kill them. Toki is more logistics based. Ogasawara is very just like overall combat advantages. Both are just as good, right? But they would be great in Korea if you build a fortified Korea. Good stuff. Uesugi. Alright, 10% production efficiency and yearly tradition decay. Decent relations. I mean, again, you can just have more alliances. So you're gonna have alliances that will basically make you unstoppable. Yearly army tradition goes well with the decay. Reinforcement costs, kind of good when you go and colonize. Morale of armies, construction, ideas. I'm very, again, very good and very balanced. Cool. Shiba. National tax and prestige. Prestige is great to build early on, and tax gives you the most money in the beginning of the game. Again, allows you to secure these alliances, allows you to take shit and fabricate claim faster. So basically, you're gonna build up, form these alliances, and go fucking haywire later. And all over the places. Wow, Shiba ideas are nice. Satake. Land force limit, that's great. With monthly award exhaustion, yearly army experience, and then tax. So basically, you're gonna be taking more loan to try and get money, and then you're gonna have enough money to pay off loans, solidify, and then just finish them. Very aggressive. A common theme I'm having in this north area is very like, I'm gonna chill and then fucking go haywire. Let's talk about Yusunomiya. Construction cost, terrible. Yearly army tradition decay, -1%. Yay. Diplomatic, land fire. Very all around. I think this is one of the more weaker ideas, in my opinion. I think the Yusunomiya ideas are very weak. Talk about ducting. Diplomatic rep +1, infantry combat ability, core creation cost is great, and aggressive expansion and ideas cost, landfire and heavy ship and tech. Oh my god, Daki ideas are great. Oh, automatically good. Good. Alright, let's talk about Nandu. What a weird tag name for them. Tag. Construction cost -10% and discipline. Terrible. Discipline is great though. Morale of armies and cavalry cost is nice. I think the diplomacy is good. Stabilizing and then just go for the blow. I'm going to talk about Ando. Decent. That goes with decent. Ando ideas, trade efficiency, horrible. Trade costs, transport costs, also horrible. Line shock damage received is nice, I guess. This is decent. This is kind of good. Depends how you use this. Discipline. I mean, Ando ideas are, are not great. They're not that great. They're alright. They are alright. Who I think had the best ideas in the game is probably Imagawa. The Japanese daimyo ideas, they're not. There are some of them that are good, that are worth keeping. But other than that, I mean, Japanese ideas are, you know, the general ones are decent at best. They're decent. You know, if you put them in a bowl, you know, all of them are decent. They're good. Japanese daimyo ideas are good. They're not legendary. They're good. They're not bad. They're not great. You just gotta find whatever your play style is, and then work from there. But that's it for Japan. Thank you guys so much for watching. In my opinion, the best idea, in my opinion, is Imagawa, and the worst ideas go to Kono. I think Kono has the worst ideas, in my opinion. I think Kono is has the worst. Even more worse than Soul. Soul's not that bad, but I think Kono is the weakest daimyo of all of them, in my opinion. Has the worst ideas out of all of them. Anyway, in my opinion, thank you guys so much for watching, and take care. Oh, there you go.